I keep saying last but not least, enjoy the rest of the show. Tomo, floor is yours.
They are turned up in the comments. You
Man,
would have thought the
Already.
second round. You never thought the second round of the NBA draft would have so much comments. You know what I mean? Like this is insane. But shout out to everybody that's in the comments. Shout out to everybody that's watching. Make sure y'all hit that like button because of course we got to roll right into it. We got to talk about the 2024 NBA draft. And it's funny you wouldn't think that the NBA draft would get more cover. I mean the WNBA draft would get more coverage than the NBA draft. You know what I'm saying? Because technically. Shout out to Davey Dollars. He did the draft on Refuse to Lose on the Dave's Doghouse. Shout out to Carl for joining as well. And then, hey, Carl, I told you there was a who counter. It might not have been for the show, but for the rest of the nation. A lot of people were like, who are these people?
I had to.
Okay. I had about four of them. But again, we got to talk about some of the biggest winners, some of the biggest losers. But we're going to start it off with some of the biggest winners from last night. And some people will say, winner, winner, chicken dinner. And why the Wizards up there? Oh, yeah, we had the second pick. So, Joe, who you think was one of the biggest winners from this NBA draft? Because it's already concluded. So we can go first night, we can go second round, we can go all around. It's up to you.
All right. I think there were a lot of winners last night or today. You know, a lot of winners on the draft. But I think one of the biggest winners is Minnesota. I think Minnesota was a big winner in the draft. You know, when you look at Minnesota in the playoffs, you know what they lacked? They lacked scoring ability outside of Cat and Anthony Edwards. You know, so what they did was they traded for Rod Dillingham. You know, everybody thought, I mean, as you saw in the highlight reel, the Spurs thought they were drafting him. And then really he got traded, right? No, that sucked for them. But, you know, they traded for him. And what that does is he will be like their Malik Monk, what he is to us. You know, that guy that can come off the bench, create his own shot, get a bucket, right? And also facilitate. So, right now, I'm gonna go with Minnesota because I think they lack that scoring ability outside of Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns.
Carl?
All right. So I have an honorable mention. My honorable mention being the Phoenix Suns. Phoenix Suns drafted an elite defender in Ryan Dunn from the University of Virginia, who he's not going to be in that scoring role, but he can get a bucket or two. And then they steal Kevin McCullough Jr. at 56, who can do it all on the floor. Does have to improve his three-point shooting a little bit, shot 33, 34% in that range from three at Kansas. But I felt like his draft stock dropped because of the injury. He got hurt really bad at Kansas, missed the remainder of the season, didn't play in the tournament. I feel like that was the reason why his draft stock fell. But my winner, and I hate to admit this, my winner of the draft last night was the Miami Heat. Heat, in my opinion, won the draft. Drafted Lil Ware first with 15. A big who can move. He is a good shot blocker. He can score the ball. And in my opinion, moves Bam to the 4. Ultimate win, in my opinion, there. Then you double back with today, and you draft a guy in Pele Larson, who, yes, he averaged 12.8 points per game at Arizona, but he can score the ball. He was third on the team in scoring behind Caleb Love, who's an absolute scorer, and Omar Bello, who's a big.
Except for the tournament. My bad. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, hey, man, that Clemson game. Well, it wasn't the Clemson game, right? Yeah, that was tragic. But yeah, Omar Bello, who's a big fella, who's going to have to get his touches. He's 7 feet. He was second. Behind Omar Bello and Caleb Love was Pele Larson, and he was 0.1 points behind Omar Bello with 12.8. And not only that, he led the team in assists, I think with 4.3, something around there. So you got another guy who can handle the rock, who can score the ball. You mix that with Khalil Ware. I think the Heat were the biggest winners last night.
Okay.
Before you go, Tomo, and that point you made with Miami Heat, it's crazy because Udonis Haslam, like a couple of days ago on ESPN, said that Bam is his best position is at the 4. So he kind of like foretold that they was going to make that pick.
See what happened to be on ESPN can get you. But biggest winner from the overall draft? Like, we really going to sit up here? I understand the Heat. I understand what you're saying, Joe, but the biggest winner is
LeBron James.
Oh, look at the Wizard.
You said what?
No, go ahead.
You said biggest winner.
I think it's part of the team.
Right. Yeah, no, he is the team. What are you talking about? That's why Bibby's here. That's the biggest winner. LeBron found a way to get his son on a team with him. He said it before it even happened. You talking about foreseeable future. He sat down there with the wife and said, hey, If you want to come to the NBA, I ain't forcing him to come to the NBA. If I do want to play with my son, I got a few more years. You just gonna make something happen, and it happened. Second round, like everyone predicted, and now he's a Laker. But that's just my joke. That's just my joke for saying the winner. The real winner is Ron Holland, a guy who didn't know he was gonna go number 5. Carl, I'm sorry, but I was up here and we was doing
Come on,
we were doing Dave's Doghouse, and when they said, we were like, yeah, the Pistons could probably go out and get them a big, another rim protector, because it seems like neighbor, we need the same situation as far as like defense and having a rim protector. And next thing you know, you hear Ron Holland's name at the 5th round pick. He did not think that he was gonna go number 5. So for this kid to go number 5 and add to that Detroit Pistons wings that you all have, you got to say he's the ultimate winner. So between Ron Holland and France, those are my biggest winners from this NBA draft.
So that was your second joke. What's your real biggest winner here?
It's France.
That was it. Oh man,
it's France. Like, this is the second year in a row where you got multiple players from this country coming over here and going high in the draft. Last year you had Victor going at number 1. This year you got ZR. If you was watching Dave's Doghouse, I was calling him ZR because I can't pronounce his name precise. And then you also got, to follow it up, you got Alex Sarr going to the Wizards. So there's 3 France players going in the top 5 in 2 years. So that right there lets you know that this global game is growing. And shout out to, again, the Dream Team for what happened. Because, again, without the Dream Team, global game, no France players going in the top 5.
So look, real quick, I think underrated winner is the Spurs. I think getting Kaiser was a big pick defensively. I feel like drafting him as a defensive guard, playing with Wemby is going to be dangerous. I feel like he's going to develop in the NBA. And I do want to give LeBron a shout out. I was going to make him a winner too. Even though there's going to be some haters out there, people going to hate and say, "Oh my gosh, Bronny only got to the NBA because of his dad." Woo woo. Man, listen, LeBron James, one of the smartest people when it comes to business-wise in the world, obviously. First active player to become a billionaire as any player, right? First active player to become a billionaire, right? And the good thing, and this dude was fresh out of high school. He never went to college. He was raised by a single mom, right? He didn't grow up from a rich family, so he had to learn these things as he grew up. He wasn't taught this by a specific person growing up. He wasn't raised in a wealthy family. And then they told people, if you draft Bronny, he's going to go play in Asia. Australia, my bad. Australia. He's going to play in Australia if you draft him, which I think is dope. You know what I mean? I think that's cool. LeBron James is going to year 22, y'all, and about to sign a 3-year max. Like, he's going to be getting paid around $60 million a year. So, like, the dude is maximizing his and his family opportunity, and all I can do is give it applause to that, for real, because that's like, people need to be taking notes of it. You can hate all you want, but hey, we don't look. You're a doctor, a lawyer, or any job. Listen, you gotta take advantage of your leverage, right? So shout out to LeBron James and his family.
Please, hey, look, I feel you, but don't do that as a doctor. Don't have your son out here operating on me because you was tough. You killing.
But he can get a job though. He can get a job now as a doctor. But
technically, technically, Carl, it's going on right now. There's a few TikTokers whose fathers was doctors, and they in the practice right now trying to.
But you're right though. I always tell people I don't really care too much about a degree, but you need a degree. You're gonna be my doctor and my dentist. You gotta have a degree.
And lawyer. I don't need you on.
Trying
to be my lawyer. Like,
lawyer too. You're right.
Yeah, nah. Because that's the last thing you need. You like, nah, he jive like innocent. He
jive like innocent.
Nah, I'm good. I'm gonna just go ahead. We can wrap this up. What's the plea? Because in that moment when he say that, then you know who's the biggest loser. Because we gotta talk about the biggest losers. And
am I starting this?